Because last on the agenda, we had not reached our UK content quota yet, so from the UK, Mr. Emilio Santoro coming out. Emilio. Have a seat right there. There's a microphone there. David, I'm very sorry. We're going to have to bump you to the backup seating. But we have
This is my personal size chair,
we have provided you with some waters and things there, and we'll be out with a dessert menu for you in just a few moments. But let's hear it for David, and for Ben, and for Cote, and for Alex, and for Emilio.
Those are my size.
There you go. There you go. You can finish that in one fell swoop.
It takes me 5 hours to finish one of those.
Well,
very small person.
They're all over backstage.
Okay.
So. Emilio, welcome. It's great great to see you.
How are we all doing, guys? Thank you.
It's like looking in a mirror. It's just really weird. It's strange. Now, we've been...
Same age and everything.
Exactly. Yeah. His mom's on Social Security, too. For you, we've been talking about the discovery of Elvis, and Ben told us his story in the UK, and you're in the UK, and how did this come into your life, Elvis Presley?
Mine's really a stereotypical answer. I mean, I was the age of 4, and I remember seeing, well, my mum's a massive Elvis fan, always has been. And I grew up on the music, just watching Elvis on the screens, and I remember seeing Elvis on the Aloha special, obviously not in '73, but I remember seeing him when I was 4 years old, and then that next Christmas, I wrote to Santa, actually. I said, Santa, can you, this is a true story, actually, Santa, can you make me an Elvis Presley jumpsuit? And luckily, Santa and the elves pulled through, and that next December, I had my first jumpsuit, and ever since then, I've never looked back.
What was it about him? Was it the music? Was it the look? Was it the movies? What drew you to him?
It's just everything about it. I mean, I think for sure, if you listen to my brother's music, it's completely different to mine. I mean, I'd be listening to Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, obviously Elvis Presley. But if you listen to the music nowadays, they just don't have the lyrics that mean as much then. But if you look back at Elvis's music, everything that he would be singing, it was just the lyrics, the look, the charisma on stage, the whole band behind him. Just as soon as you hear these big songs, all these big orchestra behind him, you feel it right in there.
Yeah. When did you realize there was so you wanted a jumpsuit because you wanted to almost like to have that as a one-off costume kind of thing, but when did you know there was a world of guys that do this?
Well, honestly, probably when I was 13 years old, I went to my first festival back home in 2016. And it was the Porthcawl Elvis Festival in Wales, and that was my first ever one. I know that Ben used to go to it when he was younger.
Wow, man, I'm taking a beating tonight, aren't I? I'll tell you. What did you do? I know.
And they're roomies, so this is not going to go well for dinner tonight for you.
No, but I went there with my mum, and I still go to a lot of the festivals with my mum. But her being an Elvis fan, she can travel the world with me, being able to see all these amazing shows. She was here actually last year with me. I'm sure some of you guys probably met her. But it's amazing having my mum there with me along the way, because she supported my journey like more than anyone. It's actually her birthday in 2 days as well, so Mum, if you're watching on Susan's live feed, I'm sorry I can't be there for you. But yeah, 2016 was my first ever one, and I think I went to every Elvis festival I could back home, and then I came out to the States and I met all you guys, and I'm loving it.
Welcome to the family. For you, is one of the things we haven't talked about being a contestant, and that is the science that goes into. Alex talked a little bit about how the ETAs can build their fan base and can meet people and create a relationship that they inform the fans where they're going to be and things. But there's another strategy, and guys, over here, they're
so lonely over here.
Look. Cody, look at that. Look at that. I got a little shiny thing. The strategy, the science that goes into what you sing in a contest, because you send in these lists and you might not get the first choice, you might get the second choice or the third choice, but every one you put on a list has to be something you feel comfortable with. There's ballads, there's up-tempo songs. Talk to me a little bit about how you approach what you're going to perform and what era you feel comfortable in.
Yeah, so personally, I mean, I'm a 50s movies Elvis guy. Thank you. For the competitions, sometimes you get the rounds where it's 2 songs, or sometimes you get the rounds where it's 1 song. Personally, I love it where in the round you can sing 2 songs in 1 round, because you can do 1 fast and one slow, like ballad, so you can do vice versa of like each side of Elvis's genres. But I mean, I always look at a list. I've got a list of some of my personal favorites to sing, some of my ones that I think are my personal strong songs that I can do. And then I just tend to just go with the flow of it, really. I always put my favorites at the top. I think you can't go into the rounds as well. What I always look at it, you can't go into the rounds like sort of saying, oh, I think this song will get me through. I think you want to sing the songs that you would sing in your finals. Like if you make the final, you want to sing your strong songs first more than anything, because if you don't make it past the first round, you wouldn't be with the top guys and everything in the finals. So.
Yeah, it's all a strategy. I mean, all you guys, how long did it take you guys to figure that out, or did you ever figure it out? Cody hadn't figured it out.
I clearly haven't. Clearly. And in 3rd place. Cody Dan.
Again. Oh my goodness.
To be fair, I broke 2nd, so I really don't care anymore. So we broke the streak. Like I don't.
Emilio, have you found a difference in the audiences in the UK, and then a difference, to what you find in America and listening to you?
100%. I think. Just wait here. Just wait here.
It might be bad, so I don't know.
Oh, it's good. It's good. I think. I mean, growing up, I've always looked up to a lot of the guys. Well, all the guys that are on stage with me, I still do now. But except you. But I mean, obviously doing all the shows back home, you get comfortable with the crowd. You know the crowd. You know what songs they enjoy. But I always love speaking to Ben. Ben always gives me advice on when coming out here, sort of what to do, and like sort of what the crowd are like and everything. And he would always say about how you're not afraid to scream. And I think the first time I came out here, I felt that. So you guys are so welcoming, and I love coming out here all the time to see you guys. And it's nice to see a few familiar faces. I see the BVDs. But yeah, I always love coming out here, and thank you for letting me into your country and singing the best music that's ever been made.
Well, goodness.
Can I just say that?
No. No.
I'm taking my Reed's hat off, man.
Oh, don't do that.
It's really nice for me. I've been the only Brit coming out here for a while, and it's nice to see the next guy from Britain, in my opinion, who's leading the way, really come out and show you guys. I'm very proud of what he's done. So.
And we might have seen Emilio and not realized we've seen Emilio, because you've got this amazing story. I watched it again today from America's Got Talent with Simon and Howie and everybody. Tell everybody the story of how they might have first met you without realizing.
So first of all, I've never been so nervous for a show in my life. But it was back in July, actually, so I know this was going on even during Elvis Week, but I had to sign a confidentiality sort of contract with AGT. So they reached out to me, they sent me an email whilst I was doing a show back in my hometown. Well, Metaphysics, the company that done the AI deepfake on me, they said to me, would you be our Elvis for the America's Got Talent final? So I ignored it for 2 days because I thought it was a scam, because it was just so, it was so out the blue, like it was, I didn't believe it was so out the blue. They sent me another message then, and they said, oh, could you get in contact with us? So they gave me their phone number. I called them up and they explained their project, and then I looked them up on YouTube and I thought, oh wow, these guys are great. So then we kept in contact, and they got me to send a few sort of videos for them to just like do some tests on my face to make sure my face matched up with Elvis's, and so they could do all these AI sort of tricks and stuff I can't even explain, so I'm not gonna bother. But they flew me out in August, just after, so I got home from Elvis Week on August the 19th, I had a show back in my hometown again on August the 20th, and then they flew me out to LA on August the 21st. So then, I know, it was a killer. But so they flew me out on the 21st, and then for that whole week, I was in LA, and they were doing all the mapping of my face. They're doing the choreography with the whole AGT team. Obviously, when Simon would be singing, or the guy, Daniel Emmett, would be singing, who's actually, the guy who sung as Simon Cowell was actually a resident at the Westgate in Vegas.
Wow.
So I was out there, and we did all the choreography, they done the mapping on my face. I went home, and they flew me back out in September for the live finals. And I was shaking like a leaf. I was so nervous, and I mean it. I think it was 15 million people was watching it live or something like that. So it was something big, and it was definitely a crazy experience in my career, and one I'll never look back on. But I'll always look back on. Sorry, man. But I was so scared. But then even after we'd done the show, Simon came up to us and he introduced himself, and I was like, I know who you are. But it was nice to have a fellow Brit out there for sure. He was introducing himself, and hello, I'm Simon Cowell. Hi, I'm Emilio. But yeah, that's it really.
Well, it's just an amazing story, and what I love about it is they got someone that loved Elvis to do it. They could have gotten, they got someone that had the moves, because the AI was mostly the face. You were bringing everything else, and the fact that you were there, and the fact that Ben is sitting over there thinking, yeah, well, when you've done a movie with Harrison Ford, you let me know. Oh, I knew what you were thinking the whole time.
Something that was actually cool about the America's Got Talent thing as well, though, that I was able to share the stage with Drake Milligan, who's also been on the Elvis tribute scene. So it was really nice, because I was obviously very sort of shy around these big stars, and I was quite nervous backstage. Drake saw me in my gold lame, and he came up to me and said, "Is that B&K?" And then we was just speaking about Elvis backstage, and that was just awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, to just settle the nerves, because one of the Brotherhood was back there with you. Yeah. That was cool. Well, we have had a great time. We've got some performers coming up later tonight. This evening is only getting started. I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. David Lee and Ben Thompson and Cody Danath and Alex Mitchell and Emilio Santoro. Very, very sorry, Joan Embry from the San Diego Zoo. We are totally out of time for her. We're going to have her back on a future edition.